The police report of Alfred Giant. Ah, yes, Officer Murphy. Thank you for writing down this police report. I would write it myself, but my hands are shaking far too badly to get it all down. Ah, curse that horrible intruder. Yes, officer. My name is A. Giant. The A is short for Alfred. The boy who caused all this trouble, I believe, was named Jack. This is a devastating tale of multiple offenses against me, the gentlest giant who ever lived. A tale of stolen goods, breaking and entering, trespassing, and the destruction of property. You see, when I confronted that foolish boy, and thank you for taking that menace into custody, by the way, he ran out my door so quickly that the door came off one of its hinges. I apologize, sir. I am very upset, and so I am rushing too far ahead. I'll start at the beginning. It was Tuesday morning, August the 4th. Yes, yesterday. I've only now had a chance to come down to the station because, well, I had to take some time to compose myself. You see, the boy stole my very best friend, my pet hen. And I'm sure, oh goodness, I'm sure the boy and his awful mother ate my hen. I love that hen. I can't believe my dear friend Hennifer is gone. That's my hen's name, Hennifer. I'm sorry. I will try not to cry for the rest of the story. This all began yesterday, right after I arrived home from my volunteer work. You see, I'm a volunteer story reader at the nearby school for blind cloud children. People say that I have a wonderful voice for that sort of thing. I think it's so important to give back to the community, don't you? Ah, my apologies. I'm so flustered that I keep getting off track. The story. I had just arrived outside my home and noticed that there was this rather large beanstalk I had never seen before. But you know how it is in the summer. Summertime is construction season, and the crews are always putting up new detours around the neighborhood. I just assumed it was something to do with them, and not an irresponsible young man trying his hand at advanced botany. So you can understand now why I didn't feel the need to report this strange new foliage. I came home and began to make breakfast for myself and my dear, dear hen, Hennifer St. Marie. That's her full name. Hennifer just loves fresh grain in the morning. This will explain one of the boy's accusations. The boy said I shouted, "I smell the blood of an Englishman." What on earth does that even mean? It doesn't even make sense. What I clearly said was, "I smell the food of a Cornish hen." I was saying to Hennifer, you see, to get her excited for breakfast. Ask yourself this, officer. Why would I, a grown giant, admit to the fact that I sing to my hen about her breakfast if it weren't true? Teenagers, on the other hand, will tell you all sorts of tall tales to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Regardless, that rapscallion shouldn't have been near enough to hear any words I said. Well, no, officer, my door was not locked. This is a remarkably safe neighborhood. It's up in a cloud, with no roads for goodness sake. However, just because a door is unlocked doesn't mean you have the right to barge in uninvited. Anyway, I was in the kitchen, and I had my harp out to play Hennifer a nice little song. I always play my harp for my pets. It eases their stress right away. But then, officer, that awful young man raced down my hall. I had been raised by my giant mother never to run in the hallways, but the boy paid no mind to common sense. It took me by surprise, and before I knew it, he'd snatched up my harp and poor Hennifer too. Now, I'm fit enough to jump between clouds, but I'm no runner, you see, so I couldn't very well chase this boy. Then he was gone, just like that, off with my property and my very dear Hennifer. Then the boy chopped down that new beanstalk. I grew fond of it in that short time, so that was upsetting too. So, here I am now. That's the series of events to the best of my memory. Wait, what's that sound? It sounds just like the sweet clucking of... You found her! My beautiful Hennifer. She must have escaped the clutches of that evil family. Wait, so you mean to say that the boy gave up my hen of his own accord? Well, that is a pleasant surprise. In that case, I suppose you can downgrade the charges. Maybe just sentence the boy to a few dozen years of community service instead of throwing him in prison. Regardless, he does need to learn a lesson. Oh, dear Hennifer, I'm so glad to see you safe. Kids today just do not understand the bond a lonely old giant can share with his dearest hen. If you ever need anything at all, officer, particularly if something is stuck on a very tall shelf, please feel free to come knocking.